Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, Kamala Harris has said a lot of dumb things throughout her career. Mostly when she speaks, I'm in disagreement rather than agreement. But she does have one single saving grace, one thing that she's said in the past that I absolutely agree with, and that's this.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Oh, the young communist revolutionary know-it-alls are going to be real pissed when they leave their Twitter bubble and get exposed to something like that. Like usual, if it bothers leftoids, if it causes mass hysteria from the communist Twitter blue anon left, well then that's probably because it's true, it's an accurate statement. And in this case, I really think it is, at least for the most part. Does that apply to every single individual within that age group? No, of course not. There's some exceptions. But for the most part, without life experience, without paying taxes and understanding the system, without starting a business or starting a family, the reality is you just don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're stupid. It's just that you lack the necessary life experience to really have a decent perspective as to how policy affects people. The simple fact is, when it comes to politics, when it comes to policy, young people don't know what the hell they're doing. They all end up having the same cliche la-di-da naivete ideas, but I could say and describe it a million different times to you as I have in the past. I think really the best way for me to make my point is to show you rather than tell you, and when it comes to exemplifying the stupidity of the young leftist voter, we'll look no further than Democrat Representative Maxwell Frost from the state of Florida. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into. Let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this headline from the Gateway Pundit. Stuck on stupid, Florida freshman Democrat claims constitutional carry is, quote, fascism. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this one.
The state where both of you live is now thinking about going permitless carry, essentially expanding the people's ability to carry a firearm without even training, with very little in the way of a background check. What is happening?
Well, what we're seeing in Florida is scary, and I'm blunt about it. It's fascism. We have a governor who's he's abusing his power to scapegoat vulnerable communities and pass an agenda based on messaging so he can run for president. He's more interested in running for president than running our state. This permitless carry bill, this is any gun, anywhere, anytime, no permit. That's not common sense. This is legislation that will result in death. People will die if this bill passes the Florida House, the Florida Senate, and is signed by the governor. It's unfortunate, it's disappointing, it's not surprising, and this is part of the reason I decided to run for Congress in the first place, but it's going to take more than just one person.
I swear these young leftists are bots, they're NPCs. Their logic seems to run off a very, very simple couple lines of code. It's an else-if statement. If it's a statement that I agree with and it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, then print happy exuberance, big smiley face, real progressive values. Else, if it's a statement I disagree with, print fascism. Everything I disagree with, everything I don't like, is fascism. Now look, I never want to be making an argument by using an ad hominem attack targeting someone, and so I'm never going to say that this Maxwell Frost individual is an idiot, a moron, he's stupid, but what I will say is that the idea, the argument, is absolutely stupid. You know, there's a lot of smart people, there's a lot of people with high IQs who hold really dumb ideas. This is possibly an example of that. I don't know Maxwell Frost well enough to make a judgment on his personal intellect, but this idea that everything I dislike is fascism, any leader with different values than me and different ideas than me is a fascist, well, that stance is fundamentally ignorant and stupid. And it's especially stupid in this specific case, because the point of the Second Amendment, as we all know, is to enable a population to be able to defend itself against fascism. The idea of open carry, respecting the Constitution as it was written by the founders of the United States, is the antithesis of fascism. It's the opposite of fascism. The spawning, the foundation, the creation of the nation was built off the backs of brave warriors and heroes who stood against the fascist British regime. But of course, that's just the first half of ignorance. His statement gets even worse with his appeal to emotion, the claim that more guns equals more people losing their lives. That statement is false. Case in point, Chicago. No, but seriously, there's a lot of data to suggest that legal gun owners and open carry states actually help curb violent crime. We have this piece from PolitiFact. Is violent crime lower in states with open carry? Florida is one of only a handful of states left in the country that doesn't allow open carry of firearms, and some state legislators want to change that. State Representative Matt Gaetz is sponsoring a bill that would allow those with a concealed carry license to openly carry their firearms. On October 6, 2015, a House panel voted in favor of the bill, which will now advance to other committees in anticipation of a January legislative session. In a press conference before the hearing, Gaetz tried to allay fears that public safety would suffer by comparing crime rates in states without open carry with those that allow it. It is important to note that in states that allow open carry, violent crime was 23% lower, the murder rate was 5% lower, the aggravated assault rate was 23% lower, and robbery rates were down 36%. We decided to fact-check this claim that violent crime was down 23% in open carry states. Gaetz compared the total number of violent crimes defined by federal officials as murder, forcible RAPE, robbery, aggravated assault with the total population in 8 states without open carry in 2012. We checked his math and found the same result. Those states had a combined violent crime rate of around 434 per 100,000. The remaining 42 states had a violent crime rate of 352 per 100,000. That means states with open carry laws did have a 23% lower crime rate for that year. And that's not the only data set. There are a bunch of studies that suggest the exact same thing. The idea that more law-abiding gun owners creates a less safe environment is flat out wrong. I mean, it's basic common sense. If you're a violent criminal terrorizing a community, you are much more likely to terrorize said people if you know that they're unarmed. You're much more likely to walk into a store or a bank to commit armed robbery if you know that the people on the other side of the desk are unarmed than you are if everyone is strapped. Not to mention, guns are already widely available. Allowing law-abiding citizens to open carry again changes nothing. Criminals are going to be in possession of firearms regardless. There's an illegal black market, they're going to get their hands on the weapon, and they're going to continue to victimize community members. The idea that only criminals should have weapons and law-abiding citizens are to be unarmed for their own safety is possibly, again, one of the dumbest things I could possibly imagine. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in a store or I'm eating at a restaurant and I see just regular people, patrons, with a firearm on their side, I feel a whole lot more safe than I do less safe. I know that if anybody is going to walk through that door with violent intentions, that threat is going to be met very, very swiftly and probably terminated before anything bad can happen. You know, Democrat Representative Maxwell Frost was a good effort, I gotta give you that, but I think in the end it was a swing and a miss. You know, being 26 years old, having never held a job in your life, never paid taxes, we know his credit score was absolutely terrible and he couldn't even rent an apartment in Washington after being elected. He's probably not the person who should be an authority on issues like this. I mean, I'm 30 years old right now, and the difference from me from 26 to 30 is astronomical. When I was 26 years old is when I got my first real corporate professional job. I hadn't even had the experience of paying taxes yet. I only had a couple years experience of living on my own, and I'd say at 26 I was a whole lot further ahead of Maxwell Frost here. I had already left my communist phase behind me. I was self-sufficient. I had a decent credit score. I had things going for me. The reality is this Maxwell Frost kid is exactly that. He's still a kid, a child. In the end, we probably shouldn't be taking policy advice from children, unless their credentials are spectacular. I'd say a 400 credit score, student debt, no significant academic achievement or real-life achievement, having no experience holding a real job ever before. In the case of Mr. Maxwell Frost, well, that's not exactly a spectacular resume now, is it? Thanks for watching, friends. That's what I got for you, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.